You're the best. Still can do it. Here we go.
You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jourdan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. Success. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Boom! That's exactly it. Do that. Let's do that. Boom! That's exactly it.
That is exactly it.
Tom Jones. You know, he just goes forever. Like Tom Jones was.
Him and Keith Richards are basically going to be the last people left on Earth, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but he hasn't shriveled up like Keith Richards. It's kind of, that's how you get a little older. You kind of just, got to shrivel and turn it. I guess it's, all your tattoos come together and then it all looks the same. You have any tattoos?
I do not. I do not have any tattoos. I know it's becoming more of a rarity. I'm somewhat of a unicorn in the live streaming podcasting space.
It's like the kids, it was my daughter said she was, was thinking about getting one. And she was just like kind of trying me out.
Yeah.
And I said,
did your brow furrow? Did you go?
Probably. No. That's something I'm working on, by the way. Salespeople, that's something you're working on. You show it on your face. A lot of times somebody, and I'm intently listening to what you're saying, but it looks like I want to kill you. Not good. You don't want to do that thing.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Jourdan live, and LinkedIn user. We would love to know who you are. So there's a little thing that StreamYard does, just so you know, LinkedIn user. And that is, if you go to StreamYard.com/LinkedIn, it will allow you to connect, and then we can see who you are. And it's like LinkedIn user it's like the equivalent of when you show up on a Zoom call, Dan, and like somebody's got their camera off, right?
Well, I think there may be.
You just don't know. We're not going to blame you.
Yeah. That's your problem. You're always coming down on people. You're not nearly as open-minded.
Thank you for your coaching expertise.
Yes. That
was my segue.
Well, hold on. When we do the cold open, we have, there's that one picture of me in front of Madison Square Garden like this.
Oh, yeah.
And people, think that's real. I just want to tell you, it's not real. Okay. That was something. Yes, I know. But there's most of that intro is real. But that part would say, you don't have to worry about selling, Barry. Just figure out why people buy, that whole thing. Yes. That was a little, bastardization of a famous quote. A famous quote by a guy named Jeffrey Gitomer, who coined the phrase, people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. And you don't want to steal anybody's actual, because that's like a good one. I think that's actually patented or whatever, or copyrighted, not patented, copyrighted. But I've always been so impressed. A big influence in my life has been Jeffrey Gitomer. And in the process, I got to know him. And he actually merged with another woman. People merge in the sales business. It's like mergers and acquisitions.
Okay, yeah, it almost got a little weird there, but I'm glad you sort of qualified.
I'll set it up.
Thank you. Yeah.
Who actually, for some inexplicable way, has taught me an equal amount as did Jeffrey Gitomer. I'm so impressed with this next guest that I literally begged her to come on. And there's something that she taught me a long time ago. I don't know if she even remembers, but I'll share it when she comes on. So without any further ado, please help me welcome my excellent friend and mentor, Miss Jen Gitomer.
Woo! Yeah. She added the bounce left and right, Dan. This is like new level energy right now.
This is high level sales going on right here with Jen Gitomer. Thank you. So Jen, Actually, I'm gonna start it because I want to ask. So you probably don't remember this, but years ago I met you and we were talking. We're just talking sales. This is what salespeople do. We just hang out and you just talk about war stories, which are
Mergers.
fun. Yeah, and mergers and acquisitions, and
Mergers and marriages, all the same things.
Well, I think that's how I asked my wife. Would you like to merge? It was
So
very,
romantic.
very,
Oh,
very
man.
romantic. But anyway, we were talking about sales, and I said, you know what? I'm making this grand proclamation. I said, Jen, it's all about the follow up, and you said, actually, no, it's all about the
Follow through.
follow. Like you don't even remember. You see, I did that happen. She
What
said
did
it's
I
all
say?
about the follow through.
Yeah.
And that one little switch of the word, I think about all the time, and it just changes. Sometimes you get a card, you put it in your CRM. Am I really going to talk to this person? And I say, you know what? I got to follow through. So you did that for me.
Oh, thank you.
Just
Thank you. What a great introduction. I'm sitting backstage and I'm like, damn, he's talking about me.
Yeah, I am the master of the segue.
Yeah. Yes. And
That's
I heard, I thought we were segueing, and then it was like, no, but wait, there's more. It was
Oh yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's
It
all
was
right.
pretty cool.
That's a tease.
I try to keep people's arms in the air in the background as long as possible. That's what we. So what are you?
Interestingly, about follow through, can I say one thing on that? So I play a lot of tennis now, and in tennis, what do you have to do when you're doing your stroke? At the end you follow through. Right. And when you don't follow through, the ball doesn't always go where you want it to go. It just kind of goes somewhere. But when you follow through, that helps you place it exactly where you want. And I think about it the same way in sales. When you follow up, that's really about just like being haphazard about where the next part of the sale is going to go. But when you follow through with the right intention, then you're directing and guiding the sale to the very next place you want it to get to.
You see that, Christone? And you didn't want to have her on the show.
Gosh, can't believe it. I can't believe it. I was
I
like,
mean, that's how you know.
what's
a
that
pro.
last name again? Right.
well, so Jen, where are you now? Are you used to be what was your old tagline? Sales in a New York minute or something?
Sales in a New York minute, originally New York City based. And now I fell in love with the beach. So we live in Charlotte and right outside of Charleston at the beach, although I'm 80% of my time at the beach because, did you know you could live on vacation every day? I didn't know this was a thing. I thought you only went and then returned, but I just never left. I stayed.
Well, that is great. And you're able to do your work and your coaching from the beach?
Yeah, it's amazing. And people pass me by. They're like, have a great stay. Have a great vacation. I'm like, this is real life.
Well, how did you manage? Can other people do that? Teach.
Yes, of course you can do this. You guys,
How?
The world became so much easier to live wherever you want to live post-COVID. Okay, that is one of the biggest blessings that has come out of the whole situation that we went through. And especially if you're in sales, unless you're selling something where you have a specific territory that you have to show up and be in every single day, if you create an online business or an online job where you can show up and sell online or sell via Zoom or phone calls or whatever, or even be in your territory maybe one day a week to be in person, you can really live wherever you want. You get to create this life that you want. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that great? So now, do you help people do that, or do you just coach people on doing that?
Yeah, so a lot of people who come to me are trying to do that. They're trying to create an online business, a service-based business, or a coaching business, or they're an entrepreneur of some kind. And what I find is when we get into this game of, and I like to call it a game, because when you start to think of it as a game, what happens when you're playing a game? You have fun, right? And so it should be fun. And I call it the F word, but it's just my F word.
By the way, I have to stop you for a second. Jen, I flipping love you. I mean, this is great. All right, go on.
Okay. So, when you're in this game of entrepreneurship, you get to create a business by your own design. And what ends up happening is so many entrepreneurs and salespeople become their own worst boss. Okay. Maybe you're the CEO of your territory or the CEO of your business, and you're working yourself more than a corporate boss would. Why? Like, that's not what this life is about. I mean, not for me, at least. Like, no one writes on your tombstone, world's best worker, right? So what do you want to be known for, and how can you create a business around that?
Yeah, actually, that's something to think about, because I kind of define myself as like I want to be known as like the hardest worker, and it really does, affect me. I've convinced myself. I'm asking for your coaching here. I've convinced myself that I like working hard. It's
that's
like
a good thing. You should like working hard. That's
but like
great.
I convinced myself that I wouldn't like being on the beach.
Oh.
First of all, I get sunburned like crazy. You have no idea about my skin. I'd be one big blister. I am like Mr. Blister. I could, and no, that SPF, I take like SPF, you could sit on the sun and I still get sunburned from that thing. Anyway.
It's a tolerance thing. First of all, the sun, and I don't want to get into all the scientific stuff here, but the sun is actually really good for us. And we try to guard ourselves from the sun when the sun is in fact a natural entity that charges our bodies and our souls. And the vitamin D that the sun provides, why do you think people get sick in the winter? We don't have it's not flu season, it's lack of vitamin D season. Okay. But I don't want to get too technical here.
I want to get in that. Because I agree. I've been taking vitamin D. Christo, remember I used to sell that on Amazon?
Yeah, I remember that.
You sold vitamin D? I love it.
He rejected it first, Jen, because he was giving medical advice according to Amazon.
Yeah.
They're like, you can't do that.
Vitamin D with K for absorption. So
yes.
K3 for, yeah, that's right. Anyway, I don't get sick. I've never been sick. It's the first time when I realized I was unbedegeable, is that I just don't get sick.
Unbedegeable.
Yeah. So tell me the science behind it, because I want to know.
Well, our body needs this. Is very simple. Okay. I'm no doctor. This is not medical advice. However, our bodies need vitamin D. If you're not outside, if you've been told to stay inside and not get sunshine, then it is more likely that you will get sick. If you look at the flu rates, if you look at the sick rates in places that are warmer climates where people go outside in the winter, right? I spend at least an hour a day outside playing tennis in the sunshine. Even if it's cloudy, the sun is still there. The rate of sickness is actually less. So it is scientifically proven that our bodies need the sun.
That's right. I love that.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
And by the way, in terms of sales, people who are not sick sell more. I mean, it's a good career move not to get sick.
Right.
How are you going to get that big sales energy if you're not getting your sunshine charger? Yesterday we were at a match and my friend's like, "Oh, the sun's coming out." I'm like, "Yes, my charger's here." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's like my battery charger. Like, let's go."
Yeah, you see?
Wow. So everyone's sort of I don't want to use that word. So everyone is too sort of attached to their phone charger, right? If you oh my God, I got to charge my phone. Well, instead you're excited because you have your humanity charger. Let me get some vitamin D. Let me look up and sort of soak that in. That's amazing.
It's the giver of life. And people are avoiding the energy source to our universe, to our galaxy. It's crazy.
We've been so programmed to believe that we need to guard our skin. And listen, I'm very pale. like you, DJ.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh,
Yes.
she says the
I'm
sweetest
pale.
things.
I'm pale, boring, and you're gaining weight.
I used to get I used to look like a lobster when I was in the sun too much.
Mhm.
And over time, with low sun exposure, over time, your body gets used to it. What does that tell you? I don't wear sunscreen anymore. Okay. At all. Period. At all. Now you can all judge. You can write in the comments how bad that is. Cool. You do you. I do me. Cool. And why do I not wear sunscreen? Because I don't want those chemicals, because I believe that the sun's actually good for me. Now, it's not like I'm sitting outside for 10 hours a day, right? I'm tracking my vitamin D. There's an app where you can track it. It's really freaking cool. And you can ensure that you're getting enough sunshine. And I don't burn anymore. It's amazing. I literally do not burn.
And you're gorgeous, by the way. I mean, my daughter loves it too in the summertime. She's pale like me, but it's always a special day when she'll call or send a picture and with this headline, "My freckles have bloomed."
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's right. That's right. So back to Chris's point, like what are you doing to energize yourself, right? When our phone batteries die, they no longer work. Your phone turns off, it shuts down. It's like a freaking brick and you can't use it. Right. And no one likes that. It's a paperweight. So what happens to us when we become depleted of our energy? Well, we can't sell. We can't help others. We can't show up for ourselves, our family, our clients, anybody. And so the question becomes, what are you doing on a daily basis to get that big energy? Like, at the beginning, like that big.
That's amazing. This is, it kind of goes back to like the Huberman podcast. He talks about getting up at right when or getting outside right when the sun is coming up, because that's like the best time, and if you got to put on sunglasses, but that's sort of the best time. And it helps with virtually everything, your sleep. And it, like within 48 hours, scientifically, they see that it improves virtually everything in your life. Like,
I have a friend who was very stressed out, and she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, walk a mile a day in the sun. She was like, what? I don't get a pill or something. It's like, no, walk a mile a day in the sunshine. What's that going to do? It's going to increase your cortisol level, increase your dopamine from being in the sun, which is like your happiness factor.
Yep.
It does all the things. So just get outside. Listen, if you're watching this right now, bring us with you and go on a walk. You don't need to sit still and watch. Go outside.
Wow. Yeah, that's great advice.
This is great coming from other people than me. A lot of times when you talk too much, nobody believes what you say. But I totally buy into all that. Most, 90% of sales is the transfer of energy. They could like right now, I'm gonna buy anything from you, Jen. I mean, it's that's how it is. You're the person I would buy from. So that's what you try. You have to. And that doesn't come naturally. You have to work at that. You have to do it. So I didn't know this Huberman guy, Chris Stone. Yeah, but I do all that stuff. Cold showers, early morning. You know what time? I get up early. This morning, 3:30.
I love it.
Yeah, and because you know what it is? I get that life, that energy from birds. If I miss the birds, like in the morning, just get up early before the sun comes up or right when the sun, birds go bananas.
They do. They really do. It's the cutest thing, and they're chirping. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, they go nuts. Well, this is great. And for salespeople, and this is most important, because if 90% of sales is that transfer of energy, if you're not giving your light to somebody else, if you're not giving your energy and that to someone else, then you're taking it away from them. Like there's no, you're either making somebody's life better or you're making it worse. You're either climbing. You're never even Steven.
Let's talk about, I agree. And I agree that 90% is the transfer of energy. It's very amazing how in line we are. Let's talk about where that energy comes from, right? Because yes, part of it is the sun or outside or doing what you need to do to ground yourself. And to me, there's another part of it that comes from your belief in your offer. And this is fundamental to whatever you're selling. And a lot of people like naysay it like it's no big deal and don't realize the importance of really believing in whatever it is you offer. And if you don't believe in it, here's my theory on this. If you don't believe in it, if I'm not like, hey, I'm selling these Bose headphones. These are the best freaking headphones on the planet. Look, they fold up. They get small and compact so you can bring them with you. If you don't like EMFs, you can take the wire and plug them in. You know, all the things, right? Like I can tell you why those are the best headphones on the planet with such conviction and such belief. Now, if you're selling yourself, like you're a coach or a service-based business owner and you feel like you're selling a personal brand business, it often becomes harder because it's like, ooh, how am I going to tell people I'm the best? Well, if what you offer doesn't provide the best outcome for your clients, then you shouldn't be offering it. If you are not 1,000% sold on it, then you shouldn't be talking about it because people are going to sniff that out. There's that sniff factor and that energy. You don't show up and say, notice I didn't say like, I really believe that these are the best headphones. I just told you what makes them so great. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I want this headphone. Those are freaking cool headphones. Where do I get them? Right?
Yeah, that's it. There's a couple of things that are that's such excellent advice when you're selling yourself and you're telling other people, you know, wake up early, get the sun and all that stuff. And it forces you to do it. A great offer forces you to act like you're telling other people to act. And by extension, you become better. You become that which you do, that which you think about. And so it's terrific. Your offer is killer. I met a guy once years ago. I wish I kept up with him. I didn't. But it was like at a networking meeting, whatever. And he was a young guy, but he was very determined in his bank. And I asked for his card and he gave me his card. His title was Future CEO.
Oh, I love that.
That was the title on his card. And I said, you know, what are you doing? You know, he goes, well, I'm a future CEO. And so I act like a future CEO. Boom. Who do you want to do business with? Another banker or me? That was good stuff.
That's really good. You know? Yeah.
Now, I think he's a garbage man now, but who knows? It's, you know, things change. That's excellent. So you're basically, Jen, you talk a lot about mindset, I take it.
I do. I love mindset and I love language because language, your words and your thoughts create your mindset.
So I have a little mantra.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have one. So I do this to get myself up. People know it. I say, I lead, not follow. I believe, not doubt. I create, not destroy. I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader. I'm a force for good. I'm a force for God. I set the standard, defy the odds. I stand up. I take charge. I win. And then I walk in like an animal.
Love that.
So, I mean, that's my juice. That's what I say before I get on the show. That's how I get my arms in the air. And then it just goes.
I love that. That is so good.
Well, it's like my altar. That is the Deej. Like the Deej can do things that Jourdan could never do. You know, so when you want to go into something, you know, you want to go into something to finish strong. So for a lot of people can't do that, and I turn off people when I tell them to do things like that because they say, "Oh, that's just you." Yeah. So you seem to relate to people more than I. So how would you share the importance of that type of self-talk to get people into the zone?
So if you want to be a millionaire, first you have to become that millionaire in your mind. You know, because then when you become that millionaire in your mind, then you begin to take the actions that the millionaire would take. And you begin to ask yourself questions like, what would the millionaire version of me do? Right. And so what you're saying is you've created your next level identity in the Deej, and you step into that next level identity every time you're showing up, you're helping others, you know how to take on that identity. I would argue you're probably, and that's soft talk, but we'll talk about that. You're probably living that identity all the time. And you just become more intentional about it or more focused on it when you're about to present or show up for others. And so it's important for people who are watching or listening to ask yourself, what is your next level identity? Who do you want to become? And how can you begin to think like that person right now, even if you don't have the things that you want? Because we as a society, we do things backwards. We do things in the order of
Well, while you think about it, yeah, my dad used to say something like that. He used to say, act like the person you'd like to become, and very soon you'll see that person in the mirror.
Yeah. 100%.
Did that buy you any time?
Yeah. So so the way I think about it is there's one way, which is be, do, have, and there's another way, which is have, do, be, right? And what most people in our society do is they say, once I have the thing that I want, once I lose the weight, once my kids go to college, once I write the book, once I make that sale, I'll do the things I want to do and I'll be the person I want to be. And it's freaking backwards. Because then you're always waiting to have the thing in order to do the thing to become the person you want to be. We need to think about things as be, do, have, which is the reverse. How can I become that person in advance, do the things, and then that I'll have those things that I want?
Oh, that's just
be,
wonderful.
do, have. I love that. Envision where you want to be. Yeah, Jim Duffy's in the house, and Jim has Jim's got some good comments here, other than he does like Dan, so we won't hold that against Jim. But Jim says, I absolutely agree. I work for several clients, some I believe that are better than others in different markets. The ones that are the best are easier to sell their services.
Yeah.
And also begin with the end in mind. And of course he's spell checking himself. So yeah. Hey, Jim, you've got to be first, then do the spelling, and then you'll have great spelling techniques like Dan Jourdan.
You intrigued me, Jen, with this soft talk comment. What do you mean by this soft talk?
Okay. So I in studying mindset, I came across this certification that's all about language and all about the words that we use and how the words that we use create spells. Okay. So you can create a good spell or a bad spell. It's abracadabra. It's magic, right? But what does abracadabra actually mean? The word abracadabra means with my word, I create. And it's an ancient word, an ancient Aramaic word that is with my word, I create. How freaking cool is that? Because when you think of abracadabra, you just think
no idea. Magic. I just thought it was like a made up, fakakta word that somebody came up with.
You see? This is what I've been hooking them up with of the whole mess of Yiddish.
I love it. Next, we're gonna go to the Schwitz, and then who knows?
I am schwitzing a little bit here. So,
This is what I learned. You talk abracadabra. So I had a magician come to my house to like a birthday party for another kid. I asked him for his card, so he taught me this. Look at this. See? Wait, where's mine? Boom. Pretty cool. Yeah.
Whoa! Boom. Wait a minute. Let's go full screen for this.
Boom! There you go.
Whoa!
You throw it in the air. You throw it in the air there, and anyway, that's how you give someone your card.
I love that. Okay, abracadabra.
Took you out of your game.
So with my word I create, with Dan's hand, he gives you a credit card. Boom. Yeah. So let's talk about soft talk. So before I say soft talk, one word can change the entire meaning of a sentence. And the reason why that's so important is because when you're selling, what if one word?
She's awesome.
What if one word is the difference between them buying or not buying? What if, right? Yeah. And so soft talk words are words like, maybe, I guess, I think, probably, could, perhaps. And there's a time and place for these words. Sometimes you purposely want to soften your sentence. However, when you use them too often, and most people use them without even thinking, they soften your point, they soften your language, they weaken your argument. I think you might want to move forward with me. Ooh.
Mm.
You think?
I think and
know.
might. I double soft talked there. Here's what happens when we move forward together. See the difference?
So much
I love that. I love the outcome.
So much more confidence. Here's what happens when it's assumptive, which is important when selling. And I'm coming at it from a place of confidence. So when you use these words, just start to hear them. And I can say them again, but just start to hear them, because I guarantee you use them in your personal relationships and your professional relationships. And they make a big difference. Words like, maybe, I guess, I think, probably, could, perhaps, might, all of those kinds of words soften what you're saying, make you sound less confident, and weaken your argument or your ability to move forward with the sale.
I totally buy into that 1,000%. And I want to hear it from you, but if coming from me, you should do this. Me just saying that you should do this, to some people will take it like I'm ordering around, and then they'll like it. Like you say that to me, and I'm more bristle. Now I soften that up at the beginning. But what would you suggest? What does someone do like that?
A word like should or must, that's a pressure language word. So when I think of, I should get these 600 things on my to-do list done today. Well, that feels really heavy, right? I should. What are you going to do after the show? I should walk the dogs. Just there's should and must and words like that create a lot of pressure. I have to, I need to. Exactly. So pressure, what kind of feeling does that create inside our body? That creates this conflictive feeling that we're all of a sudden like, whoa, like pushing back on it, because that's just our natural instinct with pressure. Yeah. And so what if you could change it to, I can do this, or even stronger, I get to do this. So I'll give you an example. After this, I should walk the dogs. Well, that feels a little heavy. Like I have to walk the dogs.
Right.
Oof. No, actually, the dogs are a freaking blessing. I get to walk the dogs. And when I was able to make that mindset shift, because it's a huge shift and you can do it with anything. When I was able to make that shift from should and have to I can to ultimately I get to, like it's an opportunity. It's like, you know what? I'm freaking blessed. I get to go outside 6 times a day because my dogs have small bladders and they want to go, and back to the beginning, full circle. They want sunshine. Okay, let's do it. Like, yes,
Yeah, that's
I love
great.
It. Just a few words can change everything. And so, Dan, when you say you should, if you were to start with the result that person can have, and then they envision that, right? So instead of saying, if they ask you a question about how they are going to sell something, you say, well, you should do this, this, and this, and this. You'd say, you'll get more of this when you say this, or when you do this, instead of if you do this and you might and you should, then all those things are going to be like, right? I mean, I love that framework. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to do. How do you break through with someone in your coaching business that is sort of reliant on all that soft talk? How do they get themselves, how do you unscramble the eggs, so to speak, if they're just so used to doing that?
Yeah. And most people are used to doing it without realizing it. So I'm going to challenge you right now to a 30-day soft talk detox.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So
Don't
you rewind,
woman.
you move back in this video and you watch it where I listed all those words, you write them down, and then you put those words in front of you so that you see them. And when you hear yourself saying it, you change it mid-sentence. I think, oh, I know, or I might, or I can't, I will, right? And
I get to. I get to go to the bathroom when I'm done with this.
Okay, then that's not, everyone's just going to be thinking about that the rest of the show now, right? How full is Dan's bladder?
Another thing is, Dan, if you need to go, you can,
Yeah, right.
Oh,
You're-
the show will go on.
the guest is allowing you.
yeah, we will allow you to take a break. So, with back to your question, Dan, like, how would I tell someone what to do? I would actually, I would ask questions where they would be, and to guide them to what to do. So rather than me saying you should do this, this, and that, I would personally ask questions about, okay, what outcome are you? And I'm sure you do this too. What outcome are you hoping for? What would that look like? How would that feel when you achieve that thing? What would you be able to do? Okay, so what's the first next step? And they're going to say, well, I have to do this. And then I'm going to say, you have to?
Mm.
And then they'll say, oh, I get to.
Gosh, you're awful. Yeah. Oh.
It's got me thinking, Jen.
You have to, with that little smirk.
Yeah. Like, do you really
you.
have to? Really?
My clients love it. They're like, oh, Jen.
Well, it's got me thinking, like, and there I just said, like, so it's got me thinking I use transcription services. Descript is what I use. And I take everything that I do and I put it in Descript. And so I have every word that's come out of this mouth into a microphone. And so, would you suggest maybe doing that and maybe just kind of saying, all right, here's something where I spoke at this particular virtual event, or I have a recording of my keynote address, or here's a recording of me speaking on Zoom to a client, and pulling down that transcript and just really just seeing it as opposed to going back and listening to it?
Yes, that is next level, because you will not always catch yourself saying those words, at least in the beginning. And when you can see them, then you can think about how you can change your language the next time you say that same thing, especially if you're being interviewed or saying things over and over again. You can actually practice. It's novel. I'll
put a plug in here for Toastmasters. I don't know if you're familiar with Toastmasters, what have you, but I've been a Toastmaster for years. It's actually how I met your husband.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Well, what happened was somebody gave a speech there and talked and had a book, and she had the Little Red Book of Sales or something, or the Bible, the Sales Bible. And so I read it, and then I said, who is this guy? And I saw the back. And so I picked up the phone and called him. And I said, I could do this for you. And so we started something. And anyway, so I just met him that way. Anyhow, but in Toastmasters, part of the meeting is there's an actual counter. There's somebody who the whole thing, they count your ahs, your ums, your ers. A lot of people say, and Chris Stone, you do this in the best way ever. Yeah, you do a lot of knows.
Or right.
And some people do so. Some people
I do so. I'm a sower. Yeah. And I do so in my transcript all the time, and I'm like, I said so again.
They're not all bad. And sometimes in French, in France, if you ever go to France or watch French TV, Mr. So you is like a word, so it's all the time they kind of do it. It's on the news and everything. But yes, always language is just wonderful. And it's what people, well, why don't you tell me the words that we say outwardly and we do it that way? Do we do the same things to ourselves?
Well, yes.
Self-talk.
Yeah. So what we're saying on the outside is a direct reflection of what's on the inside. Mm. And so if you're saying negative words a lot, words like can't, won't, isn't, not, don't, haven't, shouldn't, that focuses your mind on what you're trying to avoid. Because your mind doesn't actually register negative words. So when you're saying those things, I can't do this, all your mind hears is not doing it. It's like, yeah. And it's not looking for solutions to figure out how to do it. Right. And it's the exact opposite of what you want. And so what you're saying on the outside is really a direct reflection of what's already going on in the inside, which is it's a mirror. It's an ability for you to look at and see, oh, I get to change what's on the outside. And that's a big part. I mean, what's on the inside. And that's a big part of what gets transferred out and where that energy comes from that makes people want to buy.
Yes. And you said it perfectly. What happens, I do in the presentations that I give, a lot of times we play a little game of like impression. What's it called when you just make stuff up?
Charades?
No, close. You know,
Lying?
Improv. Yeah, we do improv. And there's a game of improv where you just kind of make stuff up as you go along. Like a boy went to the park.
Yes, and?
Yeah, yes, and. So I play yes, and all the time. And then after a few do it, I just say, no, it's not. and just everything stops. Literally saying the word no inhibits any more creative thought. It stops it in its tracks. You're no longer looking for solutions. You might want to, but your brain can't do it. And imagine if you're saying that to yourself all day long. Nobody's picking up the phone today. You know, nobody's answering. Nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody.
No one's buying. No one's buying right now. Well, here's the thing. So we're in a tricky economy, and we have a lot of people who are out there making sales, and they're saying in their head, no one is buying. Well, what is that creating? No one is buying from you.
Yeah.
People are buying all day long. Right? Like I can tell you 6 things that showed, I am not going to, but I could tell you 6 things that showed up to my house in the past week because I'm buying, and I'm not the only person buying things. There are people buying things.
Yes.
Although I will tell you, one of the things I'm really excited about that's showing up soon is this 4K webcam that has been on back order for 6 months, and they sent an email saying it just came back in stock, and I'm like, boom, buy.
You know, Dan, I was just like, this is the second time she's brought up a product. Why are we not on Amazon right now? This is,
I know.
Like, we should be on the pitch man right now.
I know.
She sold Bose headphones. Where's your affiliate link, Jen?
I know. I need one. I know. And I'm usually very good at that, but I don't know that either of these have affiliate links. Well, I'm sure I can get one.
So this is great. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, somebody wants to give you your coaching program, how do they do it?
Hey. Okay. I'm really active on Instagram. So DM me at Jen Gitomer. Go to my website, jengitomer.com. Fill out any form. You find me. I'm very easily found. I am on LinkedIn. I'm not as active on LinkedIn, but I will get your message and respond. It just may be delayed because I don't log into it every day. I did log in today to share this video. I did log in today.
You did? Oh. Well, what do you mean by, and this is for, everybody hears of social media as social media, and they don't really know what it is like for use. Like people can either use social media or have it use them. Most people just have it use them. When you say that you're active on Instagram, what does that mean? Like,
it means I'm showing up every day. I'm responding to every single DM. You DM me, I will message you back. It will be me. Yes, I have someone who helps with my social media. They don't go in my inbox. I will voice note you back so you know it's me. And that's one of the things I like most about Instagram is I can voice note you, and no one's copying my voice, although I'm sure they'll make an AI for that.
Oh, they have it already.
Oh, there you go.
It's the coolest thing. You could sound like Batman. Of course, I sound like Batman.
Okay. Batman Sales Energy. Let's go. So what I mean by active is I'm posting there, almost daily and responding to the DMs. But if you message me on any of the social media platforms, virtually except Twitter, I will find you and get back to you.
What kind of coaching groups do you have? Is it one-on-one, or do you have a group thing, or? Yeah,
I have group coaching programs. I have a 6-month mastermind that's launching starting in May. I have a sales frequency society. It is a low ticket membership. It starts at $27 a month. It's a great entry point. If you want to see what it's like to work with me, you get a group coaching call every single month, as well as a monthly action plan to go make more sales. Monthly action plan. And it's like, boom, go, right? We're about to release March's action plan today or tomorrow, and I'm so stoked for that. Plus a group Q&A with me. So I would say start there.
What was the February action plan? Now that it's over, you could tell.
Yeah. So February was all about 22 revenue generating ideas. and I listed all 22 that could help you. And I organized it by make money right now, do this now to set yourself up for success for long term, or this is like an even longer initiative, and then said go, like literally go take action. Right? This is not, we're not making complex things here. This is very simple. I'm going to give you information and go make sales. That's it. It's that simple.
That is great. Talk to more people.
Jim Duffy wants to know, is it a goal form?
Is it a goal form?
So if you join, when you join the membership, this month we're launching a template that contains, that's funny. This month we're launching a template that contains your revenue generating goal, sales activities that will help you get there so that you can be tracking your goal and your activities towards goal. Because really what matters is that you're making the right activities each day to make more sales. And then anything that's getting in your way, as you heard, I'm a mindset expert, and in the coaching calls, you get to ask questions and we get to help you unblock whatever it is that feels blocked.
Talk to me about time management.
Ooh, time management. So, well, it's different for males and females. Do you want me to get into that?
We got,
well, we have males and
13
females
minutes
right now on the show. So
yeah.
Okay. So the reason I say it's different for males and females is because males, you guys are very lucky. Okay. You guys reset every single day. Your body clock resets and a new day comes and new goals can come for the day and you're in sync with the working day. Females, we don't quite reset every day. We reset once a month, if y'all know what I'm talking about. And so throughout the month, our energy levels are in very different places. Okay. And if you're a male, you may notice you have ups and downs throughout the day and times throughout the day where you're more energized and more focused. You're more in a get stuff done mode, or you're more in a follow through mode, or you're more creative. Okay. Well, we as females, we have that throughout the month. So there is a week, a month where I am in all get stuff done. There is a week, a month where I am in just like kind of hibernation mode. There is a week, a month where I'm in creative, let me be visible, let me film all my videos, do all my podcasts kinds of things. And the minute you begin to be productive or focus your energy around your cycle, you really win. You really, really win. And so for the people entering my membership that are women, I actually have a guide to this and how to manage your energy in the most time efficient, productive way based on where you are in your cycle. Now, in terms of just like simply getting stuff done, you guys, this is not hard. Okay. Just write down what you need to get done, determine how much time it's going to take to do it, and put it on your calendar. People want to complicate this stuff and make a very expensive course on how to get stuff done. Let's just like pretend we're in kindergarten, okay? And this is very easy. You want to get stuff done. I want to write a book. I wrote this book, Sales in a New York Minute. I'm writing a second book, okay? And what am I doing? I'm writing down how much time each chapter is going to take me now that I have the outline. And I'm calendaring it, because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't get done. So I am reserving the space. I'm creating the container, reserving the space for it to get done.
I'm telling you, brilliant. This gal has so much wisdom. I can't tell you.
Dan, I can't believe you didn't want to have her on the show. That's like, that's unbelievable.
Oh man.
Yeah, the time management is great. So I think I may have stolen this from you or from Jeffrey, but I don't have I keep everything, on a list. I do everything every morning. I create my thing, but I don't have a to-do list. I have a must get done list. And
must is not good talk. That's not a good word, is it?
I don't know. It's a pressure word that I'm giving myself.
Okay.
So I've changed my must-do list, because I used to have a must-do list, to a get-to-do list.
Oh,
damn.
perfect.
Yeah.
I'll change it
And
today.
I
Soften it.
literally, because sometimes I'll buy a it'll say at the top a notepad that says
And you
to-do
change
list,
it to a get to do.
and I add in get to-do list, because just the frame of mind it puts me in and the state of mind it puts me in, when I see that at the top, I'm like, yes, I get to do, like, for example, what is the most frustrating phone call to make? When you have to, for me, it's when I have to call like AT&T or Verizon or some big company where I'm going to have to push a lot of buttons, and then they're going to connect me with someone, and then I'm going to be frustrated, and then I'm going to have to get sent back, like that. I hate those phone calls. And for a while I was dealing with an issue with my payroll company, and I would have every couple days I would have to call this big 1-800 number. It was freaking pain in the ass. But it was on my to-do list as something I had to get done because I had to get it done. And I changed it. Yeah, cable company, says Jim. So I changed it to a get to-do list. And then I started thinking about it, like, why is this an opportunity? And then I realized, you know what? I'm really fortunate that I have a payroll company, because if I didn't have a payroll company, I would either have to be doing this myself, or maybe I'd be working for someone else. And I just started thinking about all the things that made me so grateful to be able to make this call, and it changed my entire perspective, right? And then I was like, oh, okay, it's not going to be frustrating. And the minute I declared to the universe that this was not going to be a frustrating call, it was resolved within a couple of days. It was like easy schmeezy.
Yeah, that's how. See, that's how Jews do it. Everybody says easy peasy, but Jews say easy schmeezy.
Easy schmeezy.
Easy
Yeah,
Love
schmeezy.
it. I'm gonna have to add that. I'm gonna have to
like,
incorporate that into my vernacular now.
Yeah, it's like a
it's
schmear. You got to get
It's
a
like a
schmear on a
schmear. It's like
bagel.
a schmear of words.
Stuff, that's different.
Easy schmeezy. How do you spell that? SCHMEA.
Yeah. There's a lot of SCHs. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
There's schmeezy. I'm gonna do that. I'm changing it to my get to do list
There you go.
today. I'll do the journal every day. You're hitting all my my value points, which is exactly right. So I got these 5 values: gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, courage, and kindness. Those are my 5 that I try
I
to
like
practice
those. Those
today.
are very clear.
So yeah, they're just writing them. But you're hitting them all. You could turn every situation into the way you want the world to see the world. You have that choice.
That's right. That's right. You
Which
have
is-
that choice.
And in sales, that's how you get people to buy instead of sell. You embody that which they want to associate themselves with. So I think you have a great program that you're working with right now. If someone wants to get a hold of you, a million different ways. You have a website, I take it. Watch how magical this is. What's your web? Oh, look at that. You see that?
Look at that.
That's
That's
the type of production value that you don't get anywhere. And this is done live. It just
I freaking love it. It's baller. It is
whatever
baller.
you're thinking
Baller.
right now.
That's the
just
Look
first
at all
time
those
I've ever
tabs
been
up there.
called.
You got all these things. I love it. This is so well done.
Look at you. You're like you're looking at the details of the tabs even. So
Yeah.
you're very, very much an attention to detailer. I love
Well,
it.
thank you.
You should know, Jen Gitomer, we don't do this for everyone.
Oh,
That's
I'm honored.
special.
Usually it's one tab, but look how many tabs we got. On the
I
screen
love
for
it.
you,
I
Jen.
love it. I will have to have you on my podcast. It's called Your Success Frequency Podcast.
Oh man, I love I'm really into the woo-woo stuff too.
Oh, well, we didn't even go woo. I mean, I saged before this. I got the whole room set for you, and I
yeah,
the energy.
I did my positive intelligence little app here to get myself set. We're on the same telepathic wave.
We are. It's a frequency. It is. It's a wavelength here.
It's so true. And by the way, that is true, because when you're going good, when I'm cold calling, and I just like cold calling, it's my favorite thing to do. It's I'm married for a long time. It's the only time I'm in control of anything. It's when I can. But when I'm going good, I almost feel sorry for the poor people that don't get to meet me that day. It's like that kind of zone, because you can make people's days better.
That anyone that comes your way, you're going to impact for good. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, and I think that's what sales are. I'm going to finish with a quick story, then I'm going to give it to you. But this one just happened, so it's so good. I got a client now that I'm working. I have to get in touch with doctors, and so I'm looking through my network. Who do I know that's in the healthcare field that I could talk to? And I found somebody on LinkedIn, a gal I had spoken with really forever, but I'm connected with her. Her name is Daphne. And so I LinkedIn. I contacted her. She calls me back immediately and tells me this story. She says, "You don't even know where you met me, do you?" And I said, I felt guilty, but I said, "Really no." She goes, "Well, you wouldn't." She goes, "Years ago, I was a nurse and some things happened and I went to jail. And then when I came out of jail, apparently drugs were involved. I was in this halfway house. Now I have done, that's like my philanthropic thing. I give presentations to job seekers. And this particular go around, I was at these halfway houses and I was doing, this place was called Dismiss. I don't know if you know who Dismiss is, Chris Stone.
I don't.
There was 3 guys when Jesus was hanging there or being crucified. I shouldn't say hang. Well, the guy next to him that said, "You'll be with me with God in a couple of minutes."
Yeah, the thief that, yeah.
And so, you're learning stuff here.
Right, listen, we're covering all the religions here.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's add Mormonism to it next.
So she said, "You gave this presentation there, and then you were kind enough to link in with me when I didn't really deserve it." And and it was just incredible. She goes, "I was praying for the day that I could help you."
Mm.
Do you believe it? Yeah. That's what sales is. You could touch other people's lives by getting in front of them and sharing and giving good stuff. And I think you could give a much better story than that, Jen, but I think what you do is just so important in getting people's mindset right, because, I tell Chris Stone, if you want to be a better salesperson, first be a better person. And I think you embody that entire thing.
Oh, thank you so much.
So I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on the show today. It really means a lot. I'm just so bothered that Chris Stone had to be here too and just spoil everything.
I apologize.
What a great group you guys are. This is so fun.
It's from hours and hours of planning.
A story that I was just thinking about. It's not related to your last story. Your last story was bomb. I'm touched in the heart.
Okay.
It's just something I was thinking about. Is that cool?
Please.
Okay, so I mentioned in the beginning I play a lot of tennis, and a couple of weeks ago my partner and I were down. So you play 6 games in a set. My partner and I were down 0-5. Then we were down 2-5. I'm lying. We were down 2-5, and if the opponents won one more game, then it would be over, right?
Right.
And so I looked at my partner and I'm like, "We can win this." She's like, yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. I'm like, okay. And I knew in my heart she believed it as much as I believed it. So we come back 3-5, 4-5. Now on the odds you change. So you can tell like they're getting pissed. Like, oh no, now it's getting close. Like, like they're killing themselves in their mind. 5-5 until we won 7-5. So here's the thing. No matter where you're at right now, if you're feeling behind, you're feeling like it's March and you haven't quite gotten to exactly where you want to get to, there's still time to get there. You still have the majority of the year to get exactly where you want to go. And if you focus on the fact that you're behind or not where you want to be, then you'll create more of that. Okay, because that's where your attention is, and you continue to create that. But if you just focus on exactly where you want to get to and what you need to do to get there, you can create that, and you will create that. And it's all about just being super resilient and strong-minded that you can do it. And if we could come back from 2-5 to win the set, you can win your sales. I can promise you that. So
that's great. Awesome. Excellent. Well, Chris Stone, once again, you've outdone yourself. He's as good as they get in the business. If you need any help, anybody out there,
This
who
was
is
so
looking to
fun.
do this podcast, and he's your man.
It may not be
Jen,
the best
you're
show you've been
awesome.
on, Jen,
I'm
but it
definitely
should be the most fun.
Yeah, you were terrific.
It
That's
is
what
the
we.
most
That's
fun.
how we judge things when people say the most fun. Best show ever. Jen, you stick around for a second after this is done here, so I can talk to you. Oh yeah, be, do, have. You guys out there, you were in. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. You guys are the best. I'm the Deej. Let's go get them today.
Go get them.